Rustus and Annice and Rustus' Special Quest, Part 8. So Rustus had fallen into the water on his boat ride back from Erots, and he couldn't swim, and he started sinking deeper and deeper and deeper into the water. But he thought, wait a minute, I'm not drowning. I can breathe in the water. What's going on? And all of a sudden, swimming towards him, he saw an orca. An orca is a type of whale. It's kind of like a big dolphin that's black and white. Sometimes they're called killer whales, but they are called killer whales because they kill seals, which they eat, but they don't usually kill other things. So this orca was swimming towards him, and it opened its mouth and said, and Rustus couldn't understand a thing the orca was saying. But Rustus has grabbed a hold of the orca as it passed, and he held on tight while the orca was swimming. A buffalo on the back of an orca. And the orca swam and swam until it came to a big underwater community of fish. But in the middle of this seascape, there was a house. A real house underwater. And Rustus and the and the orca swam down to the house and went inside. And inside, Rustus looked around. And he saw pictures of buffalo and pictures of orcas. And as he swam around, he saw a book. And the book was called The History of the Buffalorcas. And Rustus opened the book and he read. And he read that there used to be a type of creature called a buffalorca, which could turn into a buffalo or an orca. It could switch between the two. And in either form, it could breathe underwater. And when it was and it could be a
Gruffalo. Didn't you know?
And he read, but as he read in the book, he found out that the buffalorcas had all died and were now all gone. But some buffalo still had some of their traits. And Rustus thought, that must be why I can breathe underwater. Maybe my ancestors used to be buffalorcas. And that's why this orca brought me here, was so that I could learn. And he thought, and at first he was a little bit disappointed that he wasn't actually a buffalorca, that he didn't have special magical powers like his friends Annice and Feasty. But the more he thought about it, the more he realized how cool it was that he could breathe underwater, and that he had ancestors who were buffalorca. And he thought about all the adventures he had had on his trip, how he had been to Stenara Avis, and to the Dairybug Meadows, and to Yaya Swamp, and to Sandman Frisco, and to the Cave of Wishes, and the Island of Eros.
His backpack too.
His backpack was on him when he fell in the water, so he still had that with him. And he thought about everything that he had seen and done, and he thought, that was pretty cool. And I'm the only one who's seen all those things and done all those things. And now I've written them all down and drawn pictures in my book so I can teach others about them too. I guess that makes me special. So after he had spent some time in the house, he swam with the orca back up to the air, and the orca helped him get to shore to Buffalorca Beach. And Rustus waved goodbye as the orca went back in the water. And he got out, and he took out his backpack, and, amazingly, all the things in his backpack were still dry. So he took out the golden crayon one last time, and it drew a map leading straight home. And that's where he went. He went home and he gave his grandma a big hug, and he told her about everything that he had seen. And she said, "Well, Rustus, you sure are special." And he thought, "I guess I am. I guess I don't need magical powers to be special." The next day he went out and he saw Feasty and Annice, and he had so much fun telling them about everything he had seen. And he even wrote a book about it all, called Rustus's Special Quest. And it was only the first of many books he would write, and only one of many journeys he would go on discovering things in La La Land. And that's the end of our story.